Welcome in to the Man Room.
What is up, everybody? Thanks for joining me in the Man Room. I am your host, Marcus Bridges, and we've got another clip from a show that you will be able to hear in the month of March coming up here in just a second. Very excited to play these clips for you. The more that I listen to them, the more excited I get that the launch date is just right around the corner. March 1st is when you will be able to hear the first episode of the Man Room podcast. It's running about an hour in length, which is perfect, and it will feature Tanner from Tanner and Drew in the mornings on 105.9 The Brew up in Portland. Today's clip is going to feature comedian Chris Castles, but before we get to that, I want to talk a little bit about where you can find us. Once again, we are literally available everywhere. Spotify is the one that I like the most, and for no reason other than it's where I listen to some of my podcasts. You can also find us on Anchor. You can find us on Stitcher. You can find us on Google Podcasts, which is only for Android phones at the moment. I think they're working on that. We're also on Apple Podcasts. You can find us on YouTube. I'm going to be sharing these clips on Facebook as well as a bunch of other stuff on Facebook that you can interact with. The other thing I want you to be well aware of is our website, www.themanroompodcast.com. And right now, it looks pretty bare bones. There's a couple little things that you can find up there. You will be able to find the episodes there eventually. Another very important thing, and trust me, this just turns me inside out to even be saying this right now, but there is a donate button up in the top right corner of the Man Room website. Once again, www.themanroompodcast.com. Anything that you might happen to donate there is going to go directly back into this show. It's going to go towards expenses for booking guests, hardware, software, all of the wares that you can imagine. Underwear, probably. I might buy clean underwear to wear while I do the show. Your donations would be absolutely appreciated to the end of the world and back. I can't even tell you. Like I said, it makes me feel weird to even talk about this, but I've got to mention it. It's there, and it would help the podcast grow. So thank you in advance for anything that you might be able to help out with. Let's get to this clip. Chris Castles, comedian. I met him back here in Eugene when we were doing the Donkey Show years ago, and we were actually sharing the stage together quite frequently for, I don't know, it was a few years of my life that I was doing stand-up pretty actively here in Eugene, and it's sad. There's a ton of really good comedians here in Eugene. I don't feel like the scene is quite what it used to be. Of course, coronavirus, the pandemic, and everything, venues closing down has a big role in that whole thing, but Chris is going to talk a little bit in this clip about the difference between performing in Austin, Texas, where he now lives, and performing in Eugene. Enjoy the clip. The people that are out there doing it, a lot of times they're out there working a full-time job too, and they're trying to support a family, and it's open mics, when you're doing 6 of those a week, I imagine it gets a little bit taxing. You're staying up late, trying to get up early, go work a job, then stay up late again to do a Wednesday open mic. It can't be easy, man, and it's hard to sustain it. And what you need is good comedians, but you also need the ability to perform in front of an audience, which they haven't had. So
no, well, the other problem is on any smaller market stand-up scene is that you're not rubbing shoulders with the talent line. And this isn't to say anything about the comics in Eugene. I don't know, I haven't been there, but I know this is true about smaller markets, is that you're not really, your bar is set in an odd space. And so if you don't have anyone who's really great, then you're not pushing to that level. So I know for myself that when I moved here to Austin, the talent pool is larger, and it forced me to realize, and it took years to realize, oh, I'm bad at this. And it's not that I was necessarily like horrible. I was in that smaller atmosphere, and I wasn't able to grow anymore.
Thanks for listening. And transmission.